Hey everyone, it's Maple, and today I'm going to be asking you some questions because I'm interested about you. Some of them, especially later on, get a little bit more personal and deep. So don't answer any questions you don't want to. Only the ones you feel comfortable. And I'll just be taking a few notes as we go along. Okay? So, we'll just start with a very simple, how are you doing? Yeah, that's to be expected. And what have you done today? It's okay if you feel like you didn't do much or you didn't do as much as you wanted. What did you do today? What do you feel like you accomplished? Yeah. Even small things are still accomplishments. Good. And what would you say is the most memorable lesson you've learned from your parents? Again, it could be small, it could be big. Maybe they taught you something by not doing something correctly. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. What do you think about nature versus nurture? Do you think we're born the way we're going to turn out? Or do you think it's based off of how we were raised? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, this one's fun. What's the craziest thing you did when you were younger? Okay. I wouldn't have expected that from you. Note it down. And if you could, what advice would you give your younger self based off of what you know now? Yeah, fair enough. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? Or somewhere in the middle? Yeah, I'm very central myself. Sometimes I'm introverted and sometimes I'm not. I like to consider myself a shy extrovert. I enjoy hanging out with people, but I find it difficult sometimes. This one is probably one of my favorites, but what would be your dream job? Yeah, like if you could make up a job and you would get paid a good wage, what would you want to do? Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could try doing that. Who knows? What would you consider the most beautiful thing in the world? Would it be a person or a place or a landscape or a painting? Yeah, that does sound nice. What about, do you have any tattoos? And if so, is there any meaning behind them? Or if you were to get a tattoo, what would you get? Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I have 3 tattoos myself, but I want more someday. They're very expensive if you get a good one. What is your favorite thing about yourself? Yeah, come on, I want something specific. What's something you like about yourself? Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. What about your guilty pleasure? Do you have a TV show or some sort of food or some sort of activity, maybe a video game? What's your guilty pleasure? Yeah. Yeah, that's completely fair. I myself really like trashy TV shows like The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I love the drama. Yeah, well then you can think, maybe my life isn't perfect, but at least I don't act like these women. Sometimes they're crazy. And what is your idea of a perfect day? Yeah, what would the weather be like? What activities would you do? Who would you hang out with? Or maybe you would just hang out with yourself. Yeah. Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, that sounds like a lovely day. Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in love at first sight? Do you think that's possible? Okay. And do you believe in soulmates? Interesting. What would you say you've learned from your previous relationships? Yeah, anything big, anything small? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Do you think it's possible to stay friends as exes? Do you have any friends who are your exes? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. 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 This one is a hot topic right now. Do you think freedom of speech is important? Like true 100% freedom of speech? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a nuanced issue. It doesn't need to have one answer. Okay, back to something fun. If a genie granted you 3 wishes, what would you wish for? And none of this wishing for more wishes stuff. I don't want any of that. What would you wish for? Yeah, that's a good one. And next. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty common. What if you only had one wish? One of those? Yeah, fair enough. Do you think that dreams have any meanings? Do you think they just tell us about our past? Do you think they tell us about our future? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I actually know someone who had a dream and it happened 2 days later. It was very specific and they told me about it ahead of time. So it wasn't just, it happened. And they were like, oh, I dreamed this. They told me, and then it happened. Crazy. Yeah, there's some strange things in the universe. You never know. What are your priorities in life? Yeah, back to a serious one. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that's important too. Would you say that your priorities have changed over time, or have they stayed relatively the same? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens to a lot of people. What about, what's your biggest fear? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to have fears. Everyone does. Okay, on a nicer note, what would you say is your favorite memory? It could be from childhood, as an adult. What's your favorite memory to look back on? Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. Okay. This one I also really like, which is, what movie has resonated with you the most? Yeah, so not what movie did you enjoy the most? What movie do you like to watch? But what movie after it was done made you think a lot and, be like, wow, maybe I think some different things now. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's really unique. Yeah, I like that. What about, who would you say is your hero? Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a mentor from some point in your life. Who would you say is your hero? Yeah. Good. Okay, back to serious now. What is your biggest regret? What do you look back on and say, I wish I could have done that differently, or I wish that had a different outcome? Okay. Yeah, I think that's understandable. Would you sacrifice your life for a stranger? Okay, what about for a loved one? Would you sacrifice yourself for a loved one? Yeah, I think it is easier said than done. I don't think as many people who say they would actually do it. Although on the other hand, I think some people who say they wouldn't, they might if it came down to it. All has to be in the moment. Is spirituality important to you at all? Yeah, it doesn't need to be religious spirituality. It can just be, a self-spirituality. But is any type of spirituality important to you? Or do you just believe in the here and now? Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in any sort of afterlife? Yeah, heaven, hell, reincarnation, something different. Okay, one more serious one. How do you feel about getting older? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very natural, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll close off with something less intense as our last question. What is your favorite dinosaur? Okay, interesting. Why? Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, makes sense. Mine is a pterodactyl. I mean, it's a dinosaur that can fly. Yeah. I remember there was this made-for-TV movie called Dinotopia, and they had their army, I guess. It wasn't an army, but they could ride on the pterodactyls, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the universe. Riding a pterodactyl, that would be awesome. Okay, well, that was all of my questions. I hope you enjoyed answering them. I enjoyed listening to what you have to say. Yeah, of course. I care about you, and so I care about what you think. But thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.